Okay, so how did you choose your PhD research direction and what role did mentors or advisors play?
So mentors play this wonderful role during a PhD program because like I said, I went to PhD direct from my undergrad, so there was a lot of things I wasn't aware of. There was a lot of like this learning for me to do in a very short time. So I started working as a TA for one of the professors, Dr. Alok Bohra. So he was also this Nepali economist who was a professor, full-time professor at University of New Mexico, and I became a TA under him for a semester. So while I was working as a TA for him, and then he actually introduced me to a lot of like topics, and then slowly we started working together. He would give me all the research ideas, and then he'd ask me to, let's say one day he'd ask me to read a paper on this topic, and then we'll get together and then have a meeting and then discuss about that paper, the finding, all the statistical method. So I got lucky because right at the start of my PhD program, I got introduced to him, and then I became I became his TA, and then he started teaching all these amazing things to me. So within the first 1 or 2 years of PhD, I was able to make up for all the shortcomings that I had in my CV. So from going from undergrad to PhD, and then in my undergrad I didn't have a like an undergrad degree in economics. So that is this huge gap to fill within a very short time. But then luckily for me, my PhD advisor played that role where he was able to guide me in this very short time. So within 1 year, 2 year PhD, I was able to do a lot. So I was able to learn a lot. So and then. The other thing about graduate program is that so when you go from undergrad to your master's program or a PhD program, so from early on, we've been trained how to go to classes, take exams, right? So those things that we start doing that from very early on. But when you go to grad school, right, and then do a master's or a PhD, right? So the big expectation is that you do a research, and then our training in research is not rigorous until you actually go to the graduate studies, right? So for taking exams, we have been trained for a very long time, but when you actually go to masters of the PhD program, and then you have to do a research, and then our training research if typically they're not very strong. So you need to figure out how do I conduct research, and the conduct research is a big challenge because when you go to PhD, right, you in your thesis you are trying to come up with a research question that no one has answered before, right? The first challenge is how do you come up with that research question? Then what kind of data you need? What kind of methodology? So, and then we've not been trained to do that, since our early childhood. So that is something that you learn very later on, and then so figuring that out was a big challenge in grad school.